Welcome back to the second hour of this week's episode of The Long Voyage, and we are now in a situation where the erstwhile heroes and heroines are heading down to pick up their weapons from the ship.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. And pretty much, just like she said she would, not long after you get to the ship, an official-looking fellow wearing a green sash around his waist turns up and informs you that you have been granted permission to carry arms in the city on account of you working for Her Holiness Arishat, the High Priestess of the Sisters. And as a result, you are required to wear a specific arm ring that will, basically it's just, there's nothing magical or weird about them. It's simply, so that people can see these great big lumbering foreigners are actually allowed to wear to carry weapons because look, they're working for someone important.
Yes. I mean, aside from the whole, oh look, it's 4 giants with some weapons. Oh dear, they're going to invade and destroy the city. My goodness, we're not prepared for such a lethal, overwhelming force.
Well, maybe not so much that as, oh my god, they can split my skull. People's personal fear is worth taking into consideration as well.
They should realise they're nothing more than a cog in the glorious machine of Tethmem.
Indeed. Well, they are. You are given these arm rings that are made from a scintillating blue and green, purple and green material, more like. It has pretty much it has that kind of look to it, almost as if you've poured petrol onto a puddle of water.
Ah, yes.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience, this is a service announcement. We do not, in fact, condone the pollution of our natural waterways by use of petrol. It was merely an example. Message heads. Yes.
Even if it looks cool.
Even if it looks cool. So, yeah, you are given permission to use, or not use, but to at least carry your weapons with you. And, yeah. So...
Ilva will do so happily.
Yes. At least she doesn't have to feel half naked anymore.
Exactly.
Does she hold on to her hammer and then, like, cradle it and is like, I'll never leave you again, sort of thing?
Kind of.
Oh,
but
dear.
only kind of.
Only nearly. She doesn't actually have a romantic relationship with her weapon. Not quite.
No, you.
That would just be wrong.
Yeah, and depending on which end to apply, a lot of stretchiness.
Ugh. Asmus.
He had to go there.
Of course he did.
I'm me.
Yes, you are. In fact, you awful creature.
Sigh.
You awful creature.
Yes. In fact, I think Froley should just go mad. We should veto this decision as the GM immediately.
Oh, speaking of, he definitely fills his new bottle from his foreskin.
Right. Well, yeah, that makes sense. The new bottle is empty at the moment, after all. So yeah, you are all pretty much ready to to get going. You just need to go and find the boatman that will take you upstream to Samek Bet.
We also say our quickly say our goodbyes to the crew, just to and we explain to the captain once we've woken him from his sleep, to explain that no, he's not having a bad dream. that this is where we need to head further inland. We'll be gone a few days. We'll try and be back as quick as possible.
Yes. He's kind of groggy because you just woke him up, but he's like, yep, yeah, okay, that's all right. Yep. You guys do you, and we'll go and work for the official fellow up in the palace, and yeah, we'll see you. See you.
Yep. But
and he falls back asleep.
Yep. See, it's just so easy to get him to agree to things like this.
Mm-hmm.
We should ask him to do things when he's sleepy more. just imagine in like 2 hours he wakes up, realizes what he said yes to. He's like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so yes, we now make our way to this other ship.
As you're about to go, Granny comes up to you.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. He says, I don't know exactly what it is you guys are going to go and do. I don't even need to know. I do need some kind of reassurance because we're going to be out of touch with each other again, and I have a bad feeling about this one.
Do you want me to ask the bones?
Yes, please. I would like that.
Thrody nods and takes a swig of the water before, asking the bones.
Oh, boo, 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 boo. And there's just silence in your head.
He perks up at that, and then he wants to ask the bones.
Yes.
If
You do, and the bones fall in. As you throw them down on the ground, there's a handful of them after all. They land in the rough shape of a cranium, of a skull.
That's peculiar.
You've never seen that before, but even Granny just takes one look at it and says, that does not look promising.
No, it does not. Thrody checks just to make sure that he still has the other skull with him.
Yep, you do.
I mean, I could try to interpret it further, but that looks pretty ominous to me.
It really does.
If we don't go on this journey, then Gilfie could be in even more trouble than he currently is. I do not want to abandon him to this place and the man he is indebted to.
No, he did save us from the
plague.
Yes, but I think Thrody realizes that saying something like that in the middle of a busy city is probably a bad idea.
Well, we're still on the ship, so...
Yeah, and besides, you're talking your own language. Most of them wouldn't have the first clue what you're saying.
But a lot of them have proven weirdly adept at learning languages very quickly.
Even
so, I'm not paranoid, shut up!
Very good point. They do seem to have a knack for that around here.
But I think we're okay, so...
It's a people that are made up of a lot of different tribes and so on, so they're all polyglot by nature, which means that it's relatively easy for them to pick up new languages.
Yes, but we haven't mentioned the word for plague before openly, so we should be alright, so
yeah,
either way...
Nobody's reacting in any case.
No. Regardless of the portents, I think we must risk this journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You could always discuss with the captain that we could lend one of those rings.
That sounds like a very good idea. Yes, hang on a moment. And he walks over and shakes his brother a little bit to make him wake up again, and Ormer wakes up and he's in a foul mood now because Nobody's letting him sleep, damn it.
Hmm.
And Granny shares a few words with him, and Ormer nods a few times and just rolls over very demonstrably and pulls his blanket up over himself, damn it.
Oh, he's behaving like a child.
Well, he is only 16.
Yes, that's no excuse.
And Granny comes back with one of the rings and hands it over and says, "There, we should be able to stay in touch."
With you or the captain?
With the captain. He's got the other one. I wouldn't try to get in contact with him for the next, I don't know, until the sun goes down, probably.
I'll test it at sundown.
Yes, good idea.
I don't recall, but Frody would. You don't necessarily, if you put it on, you're not necessarily always in contact. You have to will it, right?
Yes, you have to will it.
And in that case, he puts it on because
Yeah. And the so you're heading to the to the first bridge.
Yes.
Yes. Well, when you get there, there is a rather large boat actually waiting for you. It is. The point being that there are several boats here that if one of you got into it, the damn thing would capsize. But this one is large and sturdy and clearly able to take all three of you, and there's even enough room that you're able to lie down. It's more like a small barge, really. Like a river barge. But again, it's a small one, but it does at least enable you to sleep, in reasonable comfort, if you can call it that, and so on. So and there's a large, square-jawed, burly man there who nods at you and smiles. Actually, rather, a big smile when he sees you, because you obviously are the people that he's supposed to be transporting. And it's pretty clear that he doesn't speak your language.
At least someone doesn't.
So he looks at you and goes, "Samik bet." He points to the to the barge and smiles at you guys again, and then he gets a couple of people also waiting on the on the quay, who also hop on board, and they help. Clearly, they're his crew. So, and then he sets off, and it is there is a small mast and a sail which takes you upstream. It isn't fast by any stretch of the imagination, and at times obviously the wind isn't favorable, and then they have to stave the ship forwards, or the boat as it is forwards, which means it's even slower, but you do move. That's the point. You move for the next 3 days.
Oh, I don't think Thordy had enough foresight to bring his TOEFL game.
Probably not.
In that case, he grows increasingly more irritable.
Yes.
And there are two growing irritable.
Mm-hmm. So, does the ultimate cruelty happen? Does the voice start coming back?
It does so with alarming frequency, actually, and every time he then takes a swig of this thing, it curses at him. Oh, no, let me stay.
Yep. Yeah. I love the sound of it, like a record winding down.
It also sounds pretty much like that when it can speak. It's like, I'm back.
Oh, lovely. Well, there's always, I'm led to believe that most of the rest of the group of our four-man band are decent singers. If the locals can put up with us
Oh, they
occasionally-
definitely can. They will gladly listen to you guys sing, and it gets much merriment out of them, and then they will respond by singing one of their songs. So, you know,
But we learn their songs.
basic communication. They will pick some that are very, very simple, so that you can learn the words even if you don't know what it means. They do point out along the way one of the one or two of the words that clearly refer to something that you see along the river. Animals, or another boat, or a landmark or something. And then they will point to that and repeat the word a few times so that you get it. But that's, it's not enough to learn the language or anything of the sort, but it's clear that they want to be good hosts.
Mm-hmm.
That is good of them.
They've also clearly been paid to make sure that you guys get fed, so they've brought food. And
I think with all the singing and stuff, Thordy might not be as irritable as he could have been. And I think actually at some point, perhaps during, nighttime when we're sitting around doing nothing, he'll tell some of the tales his uncle used to tell.
Yeah.
Uncle Maggie.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
And the
Not that the others can understand it, but at least the people who matter can.
yes. Cough, cough.
One way of putting it, I suppose.
And the after a while, like this, you're sitting there telling stories, you suddenly feel the world fading all around you again.
Uh-oh.
And you're back home. And your father and mother are there.
Oh. Dad? Mom?
Yes? Your mom turns around and looks at you with a questioning look on her face, like, as in, what?
Huggy.
She hugs you back and it's like, dear, what happened? I mean, it's not that I don't appreciate the hug, but where did that come from?
I've just missed you.
Dear, you've been sitting right over there all morning.
Yes, I suppose I have.
So, is something wrong? She says, and puts a hand to your forehead and, feels your earlobe to see if you're running a fever or something.
Aww. Now the tears are welling up.
Your dad comes over and says, oh, come on, you just need to, straighten your back and I don't know, go out and I don't know.
Glop.
Go out and wrestle someone or something if you're feeling all huggy. Come on.
Dad gets a hug too.
And Dad gets a hug as well, and he's like, or we could just hug. Okay. Right, son. It's okay. He pats you on the back. And it's pretty clear he's looking at your mom over your shoulder with this kind of, what is going on? And she says, Are you sure you're all right, Frothy? You seem very. And then she stops in the middle of a sentence, and as you stand there, your father suddenly goes limp in the hug, and before you know it, his bones are rattling down through your arms.
Aww.
And you're standing in the burnt-out remains of your home.
I think Thordy falls to his knees and just, I suppose, cradles the bones.
Yeah. And you do that for a little while until you see a pair of boots come into your field of vision.
He looks up.
There's a man standing there.
Someone I know?
No, you don't. You haven't seen him before. He's large. Even for a Southlander, he's tall. He's broad-shouldered. he's not a bad-looking man. In fact, he's got auburn hair and a very neatly kept beard. You know, it's not a mess to look at. He's wearing a Phelan cloak.
Mm-hmm. Thrody gets up and looks at the man with clearly hostile.
Yeah. I thought we killed all of you, he says.
You thought wrong, and you'll regret that.
Suppose we shall have to remedy that.
You can try.
Oh, I will, and I'll succeed. Do you know who I am, boy?
It doesn't matter.
If you don't want to know the name of the man who's going to kill you, then so be it.
Can't hear you.
He says, if you don't want to know the name of the man who's going to kill you, then so be it.
Well, I suppose I would like to know the name of the man I'm about to kill.
I like your spirit, at least. If just the rest of your sorry ilk here had fought with that kind of gusto, at least it would have been a fight. My name is Dagger Phelan. I am the head of my clan. And I will kill what is left of you. And I will salt the earth of Svartalfen. No one will ever live here again.
You already have. Now you're just waiting to die by my hands when I find you.
No, we can't hear you, Rasmus.
Sorry. He said, you already have. Now you're just waiting to die by my hands when I find you.
Pathetic. But I do find your spirit somewhat invigorating, but pathetic nonetheless, he says, and turns around and walks away. And then you're back around the campfire, and the rest of you guys have noticed, because while he's been gone, what the rest of you have noticed is that he stops mid-sentence and just stares straight ahead. There's just nobody there. You can't get in contact with him. He doesn't respond even if you prod him or, try to shake his shoulder. He's just like he's not there.
Oh, we've tried that before.
You have tried that before. It lasts quite a long time this time, though.
Yeah, well, last time it happened to Ylva, she was gone for half an hour.
Yeah.
And cried black tears afterwards.
Yeah. It's probably something similar this time. About half an hour where he's just totally gone. The others are worried. You can see that they're frightened. The men that on the crew.
This happens occasionally. The only thing we can do is wait for it to pass.
They don't understand you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what is it? He's just says it to him, well, to the others then, but all he can, and if he sees them, the crew looking at, he just looks at them and shrugs. Universal sign of, I don't know.
Yeah, so he's trying to be reassuring and trying to play it down as something that isn't serious.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That helps a little. But after about half an hour, Frody comes back around, and you have again as you do so, tears begin to stream down your face as well, and they're black from soot as well.
You alright?
Not right now, no. I was back home with my family before, well, and then I met a Phelan, who I'm going to murder when I meet him for real.
I'm very sorry, Rasmus, but now I'm having the same issue as with Joan when she talks too softly.
Did you catch any of it? In that, he says, I was home with my family. Then, well, you know. And then I met a Phelan, who I'm going to murder when I meet him for real.
Any Phelan in particular?
What was his name again?
Dagger. P-H-E-R.
His name was Darica. I don't suppose that rings any bells.
Nope. But it's fine. I don't really need his name to murder him.
What about you, Sindri?
Out of character, I don't suppose there's anything I could roll to see if I knew who he was.
Let me think. You know what? Sure, give me an intelligence minus... It's an untrained skill, so it's -5, but there's a chance. Not great, but...
No.
No.
Even with a -5 penalty, that's just... He shakes his head. No. But... I'm guessing if you saw him in the vision, it was not any particular Phelan that was... Well, it must have been someone important.
It might be the sight maker. That's usually how it works, I've come to find.
Well... He is still in the Southlands and we are here. We have our own set of problems to deal with.
For the time being, yes. We should focus on what's to come.
Yep.
Right. Yep, so...
Yeah. So you get moving again the next morning, and around halfway through the morning, you see a settlement up ahead, and the captain of the barge points to it and goes, and smiles and goes, "Samik bet."
Ah.
All right.
And it takes a few moments, obviously, but then you get there and you can dismount, or well, not dismount. It's not a horse, but you can get off the barge.
Yes.
And you should be able to see a new image.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, very, very jungle.
Yes. You are right at the edge of the wildest forest you guys have ever laid eyes on.
Oh, and here I thought Hollywood was interesting.
Everything about this forest, I assume it's the forest, is wrong. It's too fucking warm.
It looks weird, but... Well, you're at home in the forest, aren't you?
Like I said, not any forest like this. It's all a riot of colour and strange trees, and it's too hot and wet and... Ugh. Not in the same way as honest to goodness Southland forest.
It's nice to know you're back.
Yes, we'll see how long it lasts.
Even
Let's
though
go
you are very fond of iron for some reason.
Iron. That's something I'm missing here, I'm sure.
Ilva being Ilva does not understand the concept of irony.
Oh, that's something that's iron-like, right?
I give up. You're the side maker. You're supposed to be the smart one.
No, I don't know anything.
Anyway, let's look around and find out where we can get to this tree.
All right.
Right. So,
Ooh.
let us see. You get ashore, and you see a few people walking around. But this is obviously a fairly small place. I mean, you can only see a few buildings on the picture here, but there might be something like 20 or 25 buildings in all. That's it. Most of them are reasonably large, so there could be more than one family living in each. But it's also pretty clear this is not exactly a metropolis of any kind.
No.
This is in fact a village, and as you disembark, that was the word I was looking for before. A young woman approaches you. She's carrying a spear, and she's looking incredibly fierce, to be honest, even though she's about half your height. Well, not quite, but yeah, well, she is short compared to you. In fact, her spear is only slightly taller than you guys. And she is but she's looking straight at you, and then as she gets closer, she begins to speak, and obviously none of you understand a word that she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Thordy looks desperately back at the crew.
The crew seem to realize that something is amiss, and the captain catches on and points to you guys and shakes his head while he quickly explains something. And the woman looks back to you guys, and she frowns a little, and then she nods and beckons for you to follow.
I suppose we're going with her then.
Yes, I think it would be.
Seemingly. Seemingly.
So,
Yeah.
okay, just give me a second here, because the woman in question who was talking to you is this one,
Jerry.
Jerry, and she takes you to one of the smaller huts, and takes you inside, where you see pretty much exactly what is on this image that I'm about to show you. It is psychedelic, to put it mildly.
Yeah. That's, oh my goodness me.
It is something to turn your stomach when you get in there, and all the colors are just swirling around like that. It is weird.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sylvie walks in, 2 seconds, nope, and then walks back out again.
She comes back out and grabs a hold of your tunic and pulls you back inside.
Yeah, make me go in there again. Okay, fine.
And she says something to this face in the middle of the of the swirling colors, and the face smirks slightly and swirls around and vanishes into the colors, and then reforms somewhere else in the room, and it does so a few times while she's conversing with it. And by the end of this conversation, which isn't terribly long, all of you have this feeling that you're about to lose your breakfast, because this is just really icky. And then suddenly, in the middle of a sentence, you understand what it is the face is saying.
Oh. What is the face saying?
It is finishing a sentence to her saying, "Understand me now."
Yes.
We do.
It is such a simple kind of magic, but so very useful indeed. We have so many different peoples and so many different tribes that come and be that come together under the protection of our sword. That well, he says, or it says, It is a man's voice, so it's definitely you can figure out that it's a man. It says that the kind of magic that allows you to understand each other is usually some of the first things we teach those who have the talent.
Perhaps I should seek to learn it before we depart, then.
Oh, that is a simple matter indeed. I can teach you.
Well, if we have the time.
I should hope we do. Once you have accomplished whatever you came here to do. And what is that exactly? He says.
We're supposed to get a branch, or two actually.
Right, from the tree, of course. Well, you will need to speak to Sarki about that. He's the one who can give you permission. I don't foresee that it's going to be much of a problem. There isn't really much reason why it should be a problem, he says. But it's not without dangers going there. And he's only barely managed to finish that sentence when you hear people screaming from outside.
What? That's not good.
And the colors all swirl past you and around you, and you're suddenly completely surrounded by it for a brief moment before the man within the colors reforms outside the hut. And he calls out to you and says, "Strangers, if you wish to have Sarki's blessing to do what you must do, I suggest you help us."
Ha! That we can do.
And as you walk outside, you see these very strange creatures with very short legs, greenish creatures with long heads coming out of the water, snapping at people wherever they get within reach.
Ooh, it's
Crocodiles.
Yes, crocodiles.
And there are lots of them.
The fuck are those?
Those are certainly interesting.
Let's get to killing them at least, if they can be.
You see one of these things gets a hold of an elderly man, and what happens to that man is, I'm not going to describe it in detail because it's quite simply way too gruesome.
I mean, he's eaten, essentially.
Not before he's torn to pieces by several of them.
Yeah, they have a tendency to do that.
Yep.
They start, twirling around themselves.
Alright, let's get to killing them then.
Yes.
That seems like a good idea.
And I shall...
Ilva is happy she has a long hammer now.
Yes. Let's see if I can't...
Actually, I just realised this will be the first time Sindri's actually had a chance to use his new Lotus Imperial bow.
Woo!
Right.
On the upside, they were right when they said that they had issue with wildlife.
Yes.
Yes.
And maybe we can catch one of them and get the skin.
I mean,
That could be worth something.
Yeah.
just wear
Brain
the-
lizards.
Right,
Well-
so how is it you determine initiative?
You have a speed.
Yes, it's your speed.
You just click it and then it shows you.
It
The
has been
watch.
ages since we've done this.
Yes,
There
there's
you
the
go.
speed. Like you
That
click the
is
watch.
that is your initiative.
Ta-da!
You've all gotten a lot faster since
Yeah, I'm
players.
suddenly very fast. I usually one of the slower ones.
Well, I haven't actually bought much of speed lately.
I've not bought any speed at all, so there you go. I've been spending.
Saying, what is it it's based on? Second.
Health and dexterity, that might
Yes.
explain it.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I bought up health or something.
Mm-hmm.
That might be it.
Well, I have been trying to bump my dexterity, so eventually I'll get us a boost to speed, but we'll see. Okay. So that's all our initiatives. We just need to work out.
Ah! Get out of my face, fro.
I can't see you.
There we go.
There you are.
Crocodile?
Yes.
What?
It's just an
Crocodile.
interesting way of saying crocodile.
Yes.
Crocodile. Okay, I see. Ah, yeah. You're being clever.
Yes, I'm being clever.
Crocodile.
Yes. What we need is for a giant plastic crocodile to fall out of the sky, being ridden by a man in silver. Is it velour or something?
Yes.
Or was it? And I need to type out what size font are you two using?
32.
I think that has become our go-to sign.
Yes.
Well, it's a good size. Not imposing, but not so small that you can't actually see it.
I agree.
Actually, no, it doesn't work quite as well with an S.
Ah! Beast,
There we go.
okay.
There we go.
That's the one who just ate the old man.
Well,
of
he
course.
must be the one we kill first to avenge the
Or
old man.
at least killed the old man. Haven't actually eaten him yet, so.
We must avenge the old man by killing that one first. Yes, Sindri is now Cindy temporarily.
Yay names.
There we go. I have my.
And a floating log.
If only it was. If only.
So basically it's a, large poop.
Yes. And they all come in the turn order after you guys, so. There we go. I'm not gonna bother putting. I'm not gonna bother putting an actual number on them.
Fair enough.
This is just to keep track of what number it is that's attacking you. It's not their initiative.
There's quite a few of them.
Yes, there is, and those are not even all of them. Those
Just
are
the
just
ones
the ones that seem to take a particular interest in you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
We shall destroy them.
And if I could...
Silver upon further inspection. Those things has a lot of teeth.
Actually, I think it might be a good idea to take the second break now. And then when we come back, we can take the, we can deal with the fight.
Okay.
Because
Sure.
we're almost up on another full hour, even if the actual recording is a little shorter, but that'll just mean that the next hour is, or the next episode is, right.
Yeah, it's
The
fine.
next part is going to be roughly an hour long, so we'll
That's
take
fine.
a break here.